Tonight is the law. We are told in the book of Acts that God is not far from each one of us. For in him we live and move and have our being. I would like to change that a little and say to you that God is never so far off as even to be near. For nearness implies separation. And God and man are one. Man is all imagination, and God is man, and exists in us and we in him. The eternal body of man is the imagination, and that is God himself. So he cannot even be near, for nearness implies separation. On this level, you and I can go amok, go berserk, exercising the same power that created the universe and sustains it. Your own wonderful human imagination is God. That's that. By him all things were made, and without him was not anything made that was made, good, bad, or indifferent. And God is man. So man, imagining, creates. There is no separation between God and man. We are one. God became as we are, that we may be as he is, allowing himself on this level to make all the mistakes in the world and to go berserk and to imagine any stupid thing in the world. Now, let me share with you a few stories. These stories by William Butler Yeats. You can find them in his volume called Good and Evil. It first came out at the turn of the century. It's part of his collective work. But the individual volume has been reprinted, I think, 3 or 4 times. And this is the chapter which he named Magic. He said, I was spending a vacation in Paris. I thought intently of a fellow student and a message I wanted to give him, but I did not wish it committed to paper. I wanted to tell it to him, but he was not present. 2 days later, I got a letter from this fellow student who was several hundred miles away. And just about the time that I had intently thought of him and the message, I appeared seemingly in bodily form, as though in the flesh, in a large hotel where he was, amidst a large crowd of people. And he told me that he would like me to return after the crowd was gone. And then I vanished and returned that night at midnight and told him the message, which he told me in his letter. Now he said, I have no conscious knowledge of the projection. I only know that I intently thought of my fellow student and the message I wanted to convey. And there I appeared in the midst of a huge crowd in a hotel several hundred miles away. And he could tell me to return later after the crowd dispersed, which I did at midnight and told him the message. Now he said, I could tell you a number of stories of the power of imagination. Then he tells the one of Joseph Glanville, which is a very popular story, supposedly very, very true. Now this student at Oxford University, finding himself, without funds, could not continue his studies. And so, in the day that he left college because he could not afford to continue, he found no job, and he joined himself to a bunch of gypsies, traveling gypsies. And one day, two students who knew him at college came upon him among the gypsies. And he made a sign not to be identified. And then came up afterwards and he told them, I'll meet you in the inn, and then I will explain to you why you find me among this crowd. Well, they were curious, so they went to the inn, and when he came into the inn, he told them they are not quite the vagabonds that people think that they are. They have a secret that is not known at Oxford. None of our professors know it. I never heard about it, said he. So no one knows it. But I'll tell you what they've taught me. And I have learned all that they've taught me so far, and I've improved upon it. Now, to show you what I mean by it, I will leave you two fellows alone. And when I return, I will tell you what you have discussed in my absence. And so when he came back, he told them in detail what they had discussed, or everything they discussed. And they were curious and wondered why.